This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by British super featherweight champion Sam Bowen. Sam, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. Yeah, really well.
It's good to hear. Obviously, we've come down today for your fight on the weekend with Jordan McCorry. Just talk to me about how excited you are to get the chance to put in a show in Leicester where you are the British champion.
Yeah, well, being British champion boxing in Leicester, it's really good. The show's actually in Leicester. It's where I'm from, and now I'm hoping to put on a good show and get a good win.
I know you've got those ambitions to maybe win the British belt outright. Just talk about Jordan McCorry first, though, and what do you expect him to bring on fight night?
Yeah, I've watched. I've only watched 2 of his fights, and he boxed different on both of them. So, like I say, I can't really take anything for granted. He looks strong on one video, and then he looks a good mover on the other video. So, I'm expecting a tough fight, and I'm just got to be on my game and perform well.
You just mentioned the difference in styles that Jordan brings. How do you expect him to try and cope with you?
Like I say, I'll find out on the night, won't I? But like I say, I'll adapt to whatever I need to, and I'll do what I've got to do to get the win.
Who else was you looking at in terms of opponents for your first British defence?
No one specifically. We had about 4 or 5 different opponents, and then obviously with the pull-outs and injuries, I knew that we was fighting Ronnie Clark for a while because it was a mandatory, and then when I got injured, then he got injured. So no one specifically, just wanted an opponent so I could actually fight.
Talking about the whole Ronnie Clark situation, obviously that seems to be a fight which was going to happen, and obviously you've just mentioned all the injuries. How frustrating was it for you that that fight just didn't happen?
Yeah, I was frustrated when I got injured because I really wanted to fight, and it was out of my hands. I weren't going to be fighting injured. Then was back on track for everything for the fight in February. Then about 4 weeks before he got injured, and then I was just worried that we couldn't get an opponent. And then obviously the show got postponed anyway, so now we've got an opponent and it's only a few days away. So.
Is that a fight down the line that would still interest you? Or say if you come through successful and you put in maybe a stoppage performance, you'll be looking beyond somebody like Ronnie?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what we decide to do, if we vacate the British or try to win it outright, I'd assume it'll be, again, put mandatory to fight me. So it'll be a fight that'll happen definitely if I decide to keep the British and go down that route.
Whenever I've talked about people in the industry, about yourself and how you've started out, everyone always says you've been a bit like a hidden gem in the sport. For whatever reason it's taken till now for you to get recognition for how good you are as a fighter. What do you think it's taken for you to get to this point, to win the British title, to start to be recognised more and more across the country?
Well, I started obviously small on the small shows, just keep winning, and then when you keep winning you get pushed for titles. I was supposed to box for the English against Alpha Barrett, and that never happened. Then they just put me for a British, won the British, and then here we are now. So, and obviously the fight before was supposed to be a British, but we couldn't get a British opponent, so that's when I boxed for WBO. So, like I say, just keep winning fights, you end up rising up, mate.
You've just mentioned as well, you know, you may vacate the title or you may go and win it outright, depending on what you're feeling. What would be your instinct at the moment? What do you feel like you'd like to do?
I'd like some big fights. For decent titles, like I said, I've got WBO, defend that a few times, but honestly don't know what route we're going to choose. I'll have to see how this one goes on Saturday. I'm obviously confident I'm going to win, and then we'll discuss it from there and see what options we've got.
In the long term, how far off do you think you are from maybe European or world titles?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely ready for like European title shot. Like I say, I've already jumped steps to get the British. Don't want to be jumping too far, saying I'll box for a world title tomorrow. Yeah. But like I say, if there was to say in 6 months' time we'll get a European title shot, then I think I'm ready for that.
And what are your thoughts on the rest of the card, the likes of Nathan Gorman and Kevin Johnson, which was officially announced just after Nathan's original opponent pulled out?
You've only just told me. I have no idea, so I'm none the wiser. So don't know.
You've also got somebody else who's knocking about in your weight division from Leicester, Leon Woodstock Jr. A fight which has been a bit of a build-up towards maybe happening down the line. We've seen some interactions between yourself and Leon over social media. Is that a fight which interests you?
He got offered the fight. I'm reading the other day saying about he only got offered 2 weeks' notice. Ronnie Clark pulled out 4 weeks' notice, and they Warren's team straight away. He was one of the options, and they said they were only preparing for a 6-round fight. I mean, it was 4 weeks after Christmas, so he would have been training when I started training. Everything would have been the same. I think I give up even going on about him now, so I think the best option to say is I'm happy to fight him. I've always been happy to fight him. I would have been happy to fight him for the British defence in a few days because I was worried about an opponent. So like I say, whenever he wants it, just tell them to get in touch with Carl and then sort it, because like I say, I'm not bothered. So if they want to fight, then we'll fight, but there's no point in it to and fro and no definite answers. So I've said I'm happy to fight him whenever he wants. It's easy then, isn't it?
You just mentioned, obviously, you're happy to fight him. He lost last time out in Leicester against Archie Sharp. If you had your choice of the two, who would you rather face?
Woodstock would be an easier fight, definitely. Like I say, and Archie Sharp's a very good boxer, and like I say, it would be more of a task to beat than Woodstock.
What did you make of their bout in Leicester last time out?
Yeah, Archie Sharp won well and made him look stupid, and I think like the build up to that fight, how they were like going on. I didn't actually see it, but I heard about it when there was Archie Sharp were doing his the open workout, and they were just getting him a bit of grief. Like I say, that didn't do him no favours, did it? It didn't win him the fight, and he went and lost into it. So.
Well, Sam Bowen, I appreciate your time as always. So thank you for speaking to Boxing Social, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, Sam, mate.